Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pampered Chef Live. We're so glad to have you with us tonight. My name is Michael. I am your moderator tonight. Where are you joining from? Let us know in the chat. And if you are a host or a guest, we're extra special, extra glad to have you here. Please let us know that too. We just love to see it. So thank you, friends. And this is our weekly live cooking demo, Pampered Chef Live. We do this every week, and it is fun every single week. And during the next 30 to 45 minutes, we'll be joining Shelly and Anna from their home kitchen as she teaches us how to make a stuffing and pumpkin pie that you can use for Thanksgiving if you're in Canada, it's coming up soon, or for any fall gathering if you're in the US, or just tuck these recipes away for US Thanksgiving in a couple months. Either way, after the demo, we'll be selecting 3 attendees for a product giveaway. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, be sure to register for the event right now through the Zoom link in the description of this post so you can be eligible for tonight's drawing. We'll also have some Q&A time with Shelly after the demo. So if you have a question that you would like us or Shelly to answer, drop it in the Q&A feature here in Zoom. And that's different from the normal chat feed. And we will save some questions for Shelly as well as have our staff answer questions throughout the event as well. We'll get to as many of them as we can. Couple other housekeeping notes, and then I'll let Shelly do her thing. First of all, everyone will get the recipe handout via email about an hour after the demo ends, everyone who's registered. You can also find the handout links on our website. Just go to pamperedchef.com or .ca/live-events and look for the recipe handout button. And while you're on the page, go ahead and register for next week's event while you're at it. Second of all, please take the survey that pops up in Zoom when you sign off. We want your feedback. We read this every week, and it helps us improve these events. So please do that. And to incentivize you, we'll pick one more winner randomly from the survey every week for a bonus giveaway. Last thing, if the Zoom chat is too busy for your liking, you can always mute it, and I'm going to tell you how. On desktop, click the little arrow next to your chat button at the bottom of your screen and click Stop Showing Chat Preview. If you're on your phone, open the chat, tap the little bell icon, and select Mute. You can also hide the emoji reactions by selecting More with the 3 little dots and selecting Hide Reactions. And now I'm going to hide and grab a beverage and kick back and relax, and that's what I want all of you to do because Shelly is about to show us how it's done. So let's get cooking, friends. Take it away, Shelly and Anna.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Shelly, and I'm delighted to have Anna here with me in the kitchen today. I have to say that Anna was 3 months old when I joined as a consultant, and it has been one of the best things that ever happened to us. So I'm just really happy that she's here today, and if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. But what I'm going to show you today, and what you're going to learn, I hope, is to make 2 holiday dishes absolutely homemade. And once you make them homemade, you might never want to ever buy it from a box or from a store again. So I'm just really excited to be here. So we're going to get started with stuffing. And stuffing or dressing, I would like you to put in the chat when you do dressing or stuffing, what do you call it? Because in Canada, well, not just in Canada, but I love to do mine in a separate dish because it's easier to make sure my turkey is fully cooked and properly cooked without being overcooked. And I know that my dressing is perfectly cooked as well. So I do them separately. I can see that there's a lot, I probably divided half and half, I don't know. But one of the secrets to a delicious dressing, I'm going to call it dressing, is fresh herbs. And we start the recipe really with, you can prep your bread in advance, which I have done. I'll bring that out in a second. But you can sweat the vegetables in advance as well. But I'm going to show you, first of all, how we prep this. And I'm going to use the Rapid Prep mandolin. It's a bit noisy, and I have some celery and some onion. And so essentially, we just pop this in here, and I'm going to put my carrot in here as well. I've got it set, I believe. No, I didn't. I changed it. So when you go to use your Rapid Prep mandolin, you can set it on the back. The dial I'm going to choose is for fine julienne, and I'm going to do 4 and 4, basically julienne and 4. And then we're going to go ahead and make some noise. So if you have this product, let me know. Put it in the chat. What do you use it for most commonly? Always use the food guard. Now, when we had dogs, they would come running because invariably there would be food on the floor, vegetables on the floor. Oh, this one's a little too big. And I like to use this product rather than a chopper or to chop it finely because I like to see chunks of the vegetables in mind. But if you like yours fine, you could use the twist and chop as well. Hold on. So just like that, we have all of these vegetables for this ready to go in the pan. Now, for the sake of time, I pre-sweated the vegetables. And we'll just set that aside. And I'm going to, oops, there we go. I'm going to show you how I do the mushrooms. I'm a little nervous. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this through and here, and then you put it in the base just like that. It pops them out, and then they all just fall right out, just like that. There we go. And there's the last one. So I love to put bacon in mine as well, so I've got it pre-done. And we just bring this over for a second. This pan is stainless. It's all stainless. It has a gorgeous lid. And one of the things about sweating vegetables is you want to extract the flavor from them into the oil that's in the pan and the butter that we're going to add. And we don't want to brown the vegetables or harden them. We want them to kind of melt in, which is why we sweat it. So in order to do that, you want to have the surface of the pan covered with food. You want a little oil in there, and you want to put a little bit of salt at the time because that's going to extract the liquid from the vegetable, and then put the lid on because as it starts to work, the moisture from the vegetables is going to come up to the lid. You can see that there is moisture on this lid, and it's going to condense on the lid, rain down the side, and kind of self-baste, if you will. So just like that, we have our vegetables. Okay, you don't hold that? Thanks, sweetheart. And then we're going to put the butter in because you can't have too much butter in stuffing. And then we're going to, we'll hold that for a second, but we're going to add some herbs. So I like to chop the herbs either by hand or put them in the twist and chop. So I have, from the garden, I have fresh sage, rosemary, and I've got some parsley and some thyme. So I'm going to put them in here and show you. So this was from washing them. There we go. Using fresh herbs, in my opinion, will change this hugely. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word. It is a game changer. Because the herbs being fresh just completely make the aroma. It is the thing that makes your stuffing so good. Let me just say that when you're using this, if you have a long stems, they kind of don't do well. So cut the stems off. There we go.
Does it smell good?
It smells amazing. Yes, it does. So you can see that they're all nicely chopped. If you can just imagine all of those Thanksgiving or Christmas stuffing flavors coming out at you.
Whoa.
Wow. So we're gonna pop those in there, and Anna's just gonna take this back to the stove and melt the butter, stir it in, and I'm going to show you how we prepare the, what is it called? The bread. So the thing about the bread is that you want it to absorb the flavor of the bird and of all the vegetables and stuff. So you want it to dry out a little bit. So I had mine sitting out, and I cubed a bunch of bread and let it set out so it's quite dry. So if you have stale bread, if you have old baguette, if you have any leftover garlic bread, which, I mean, who has leftover garlic bread? But if you ever did, you could go ahead and use this or save it for your stuffing. So here's the secret, is now you're gonna take your best turkey or chicken flavor in your stock, and you're going to moisten this with it. And this is how you get the flavor of the bird without having to bake it inside. So we want to put enough on that it is moistened but not soggy. And so let's just see. So this is the large stainless steel bowl, which I love. And sometimes I just taste this and see. No, and it's really dry and hard. So, sorry about that.
That's exactly how you want it, isn't it?
It is how I want it. But I can't talk to
I'll be
them.
the taste tester, don't worry.
Okay, awesome. So it's kind of soupy right this moment because my bread is just being a bit slow, so I'm just gonna try to be patient. I'm gonna add my bacon now for flavor. And then we're gonna add all the rest of the vegetables, and it's almost ready to go in the oven. Hold on.
Do you want the lid on?
Hello everyone, thanks for your comments. Do you want the lid on?
this, like while the butter's melting?
Sure, it'll go faster. Okay, so you can bake your dressing, stuffing. Well, if you're stuffing it, it's gonna go in the bird. But if you're baking dressing, one of the fun things to do is use our stone muffin pan. And the reason you wanna do that is it's gonna crisp into beautiful, presentable, servable, easily servable, and puffy and fluffy and moist and delicious. It's individual servings. So I would like to know if you've ever done this. So the muffin stone has been out of the line for many years, well loved in many kitchens, and it is back in the States as of tomorrow, and in Canada, you have it available to you today. So make sure you get it because while quantities last. If you don't have a muffin stone, you could use one of these Brilliance pans because they are perfect at browning. So you're gonna get, if you just wanna serve it with a spoon, whatever size suits your family. Okay, how are we doing?
No more liquid,
Okay, perfect.
but my butter's still melting.
Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add one thing that's not in the original recipe. So this recipe and many, many more are on our Pampered Chef website. And if you've not made use of those yet, if they're not your go-to, here is your recommendation, my recommendation to you. Use our resources. They're not full of ads. They're just there. They're delicious recipes. Just go to Pampered Chef, go to recipes. You can put in, search by product, by ingredient, by so many different things, and the whole stash of recipes is there and fantastic. So I'm gonna add eggs to mine. So, is that done?
Almost, yeah.
Almost done, okay. So we're gonna put this together with all of our aromatics, and then we are going to toss it with some beaten eggs. It's optional, you don't have to do that. What I find is that it helps it be fluffy and not soggy, but still moist. So it helps give it some structure and holds it together. And I love that because then when you're serving them in individual portions, then they stay together a little bit easier.
You know how browned butter things is all the rage?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be good if we had more time?
Maybe brown butter. I don't know,
Browned butter
I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you do browned butter to add to this?
from your part?
Sure. Oh my word. If you could have smell-o-vision, you would be giddy up getting your thank you. Your chin up to the table right now and saying, okay, pass the gravy, because can you imagine
It smells really good.
what herb do you smell into there? I'm getting sage and
Yeah.
thyme.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you guys, can you see this? Okay, so now it's starting to feel like it should, kind of heavier, moist, fragrant, delicious. We are going to throw in the eggs that I've beaten. I've beaten? That's a word, eh?
I've beaten already.
I've beaten already. Thank you. We'll toss this together, and then I'm gonna get Anna to use this large scoop and scoop these even to the muffin wells. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven, nice hot oven. The recipe says 350, but with the stoneware muffin pan, I like to do it a little bit hotter. I think we have the oven right now at 500. And if you have extra, 400? Yeah, 400.
I'm autocorrect.
Oh my word, you are the generation for autocorrect. I'm gonna get you to do that there. You guys, how am I doing? How are we doing? How are you doing in your kitchen watching? I hope you're enjoying this. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing great. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with pumpkin pie. Now, pumpkin pie is like my favorite dessert, and it is like, you know, our favorite meal is Thanksgiving, which is a turkey dinner. And then the pièce de résistance, the best part of it is the dessert, right? So making a homemade pumpkin pie is so good, and it's easy. And my thing is, if you use great quality ingredients, it's going to taste even better. So my little secret is to add a dash of vanilla to the filling and to use a butter pie crust. So we're actually going to get to a butter pie crust right now. Let me wipe this counter. Okay. So I have stashed away in my fridge, I have 2 versions of pie crust. So, one second. Just gonna grab.
Here, I'll show them this.
Yummy. Hey, hon. Okay, so I started with this mix because it is a very, it's so easy. So if you have never felt confident enough to make your own pie crust, I'm gonna tell you, yes, you can. It is pretty easy. So what you're gonna wanna do is use either a food processor or stand mixer with a paddle, and you're going to want to drop cold butter into the mix and grind it all up until it has this consistency. So it's really quite crumbly, chunky,
Like peas.
like peas. That's what the recipe always says, but I never knew what that meant.
Like the size of a pea.
Yeah. Okay, so over here. So you want to get the stand mixer out? All right, here we go. This here. Okay, so in order to actually show you all the stages, because a crust has to rest, we had to do a couple of different variations and versions of this, or stages, if you will. And so I have some ice water already, and I mixed in the flour, but I wanted you to see the consistency that you're looking for with your butter in there, into the pie crust mixture. All right, we're gonna add ice water. Now, the recipe says 1/4 cup and then add a little bit at a time. I pre-measured when I made it previously, and I found that I needed closer to 1/2 cup. So I like, personally, to add it all at once because, I don't know, that's just me. So you just mix it a little bit in order, long enough that it kind of comes together and it sticks as a clump. So sorry for the technical, it's not really technical, but the detailed description of this, but it helps, I think, because my very first pies had tears in them, all of them. I was honestly
They're extra salty.
extra salty because I found it so frustrating because I didn't know what I was doing and it wasn't working, and I would cry and I would like, darn it, I'm not going to give up, and then the next one would be about the same. Anyway, so here we go. So I'm going to teach you what works for me, and hopefully you will feel confident enough to try this as well. So I have the pastry mat out, and what I'm going to do now that I've got this kind of clumpy is dump it on here. There we go. And Anna's going to put the filling together as we're working. So if you have questions about that, she's kind of off camera, I apologize. But basically she's doing the pumpkin. Then for one pie, we just need 1/2 of the can. So she's actually weighing it to make sure we have it right. So here's what I do. This you might not have seen before. I grab the pastry mat and I squeeze it together, my pie crust, so I don't have to touch it. And I kind of knead it. So fold it over on one side. So there's shaggy edges here and there. And then I do this enough times till the edges are kind of smooth. And I'll use the pastry scraper, the veg scraper. There we go. All right. And then we are going to roll this out. Okay, so stay with me because we're going to get to a finished pumpkin pie here shortly. Again, these are the questions I get when I've showed people how to do this. And Michael, if you're getting comments or questions that I'm not seeing that you want me to answer, just jump in because I can't read them fast enough. Okay, so then we're going to use the rolling pin, the tapered rolling pin. We're going to go from the middle forward and the middle back. One of the things to not do is don't roll it back and forth like this. Give it another little dusting so that it doesn't stick. We're going to flip it over and do it again. Middle forward, middle back, maybe a little dusting, and then go. So this is, I think, probably the piece where people are a little freaked out. So you want to use cold butter, keep your pastry cold, and when you put it in the fridge to let it rest and the gluten to relax again, it can sometimes get too hard, and then you end up with this rock and you're trying to push it. Is this ever happened to anybody other than me? Anyways, if that happens, just let it stay at room temperature for a couple of minutes until it is workable and it's not like a rock. Okay, moving right along. I love to chat and teach you stuff, and sometimes I get a little too chatty. Okay. If you get little lumps on here, wipe them off because they're going to make little divots in your dough. So, and you'll always have a little bits left over. So, sorry, I'm getting to the point where I can't really. There we go. Nope, that's fine. You're always going to have a little bit of extra left over.
Sorry. It's a little noisy. I think I have everything in here.
So we can't talk while that's on because they can't hear us. They can't hear us really. That's okay. As long as it's mixed, keep going. It's fine.
What is the egg?
The egg is for the pie. Did you put eggs in it?
No. It's just not on here.
Oh, we want eggs in there.
Oh.
So I'm sorry about our little confusion here. So yes, we need eggs in the pie filling. You can see that this is crumbling a bit. This is normal. If this happens to you, it's fine. And so what you're gonna do is kind of just have, like, it's like a craft. So you're gonna piece together little bits and fill them in, because when you eat a pie, you will not know whether it had a little, you know, oopie in some spot. Is that a word? That's a word today.
Yeah.
An oopie. So you can see there's a little hole here. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a little piece of pastry and push it in there. Sometimes you need to put a little bit of flour on your hand so it doesn't stick. Press it in and do your little repair. And then here, so now we have all this lying over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go along and we're just gonna cut with the scissors. These scissors you can sharpen, you can take them apart and wash them. So it's fine to use them with food as long as you wash them in between uses. You wanna leave a little bit of extra on there, but I'm just cutting off the big hanging down edges. And then we're gonna fold this over and crimp the crust, and we're just about done.
Is this like a consistency?
Yeah, that looks good.
I don't know if you can see that.
I don't know if they can see. All right, so
There we go. Nice.
What we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn this over and kind of stand up an edge, if you will. I'm gonna stand up a little edge here all the way around, and then I'll show you the pattern that my grandma and my mom used, and I'm curious how you do your edge to your pie if you're a pie maker. And if you're not a pie maker yet, my goal or my hope is that you will give it a try, and don't give up if it's not perfect the first time, because everything that's worth doing is worth learning. All right, and learning requires failing.
That's a nice thick crust. That's gonna be
It's
delicious.
gonna be buttery and delicious. Okay, so here's what I do. So now I have this nice little, stand it up edge, and it's a little thick. It's double walled on just the top edge. And I put my fingers, I put my fingers like this, and I crimp it like that. And then I go along, and I use kind of the edge of my finger. And then we're about to put this in the oven. We didn't set a timer for the stuffing, did we?
No, we didn't.
I keep calling it stuffing, and yet I call it a dressing.
It's
I'm
stuffing.
confused.
It's stuffing.
Okay, so there you go. This is ready for some filling.
There you go.
And before I do that, I just want to shout out that these little bits, save them, roll them out again like another little pie crust, put cinnamon and sugar, cut them into squares, and bake them. They're just delicious. Here you go. Here is our filling. So you just want to gently pour this in. And one of the things that I tried, I'll just share with you, I was trying to use less cream. And so I substituted with coconut milk, and it worked absolutely delicious. So the only thing we did different was, did you put vanilla in here?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to come back and talk to the vanilla and the cinnamon plus.
Okay.
What was I saying?
You put coconut milk. What do you
Oh,
do
yes.
differently?
So I put coconut milk instead of whipping cream, and then I added a little bit of salt, because whipping cream natively has salt because it's from an animal, so it has a little salt just naturally, it's not added. And so what I noticed was it was a little flatter using the coconut, so but the coconut was so creamy. The thing about pumpkin, let me just remind you, is there is a ton of nutrients in it, and there's a lot of fiber. And so you need, I think, some fat in there to make it really creamy, and all those flavors. It just, oh my word, look at this. Okay, so this is gonna go in the oven. Because it's stoneware, I like to bake it hot in the oven on the bottom, and I do it at least 375. Because you want the shelf in your oven to be as low and close to the element as possible. You need that nice hot heat because you want your crust to come out brown on the bottom and flaky everywhere. So I'm going to give you that so you can put it in the oven, and you can let me know if the stuffing is ready.
It smells really good.
Okay, there was my second one. I don't even know what that was for. Oh, I know. I was supposed to let it rest. Okay, so just a little distracted over here tonight. So when you add the water to your pie crust and you knead it and you get it into shape, that's when you're supposed to let it rest for 30 minutes. And I had one in the fridge rested. So this.
That's not done yet, right?
No.
Just a little.
It's sizzling though. It's smelling really good. Okay, and I have a tip for you. When you wash this, because this is one of the things that I've had people say they do not like washing this pastry mat. So first of all, that bench scraper, can you grab it for me, please? The bench scraper will clean off most of the stuff. And then I wash it in the sink, and I just basically put soap and water on here. I give it a good scrub, and then I rinse it in the sink. And then what I do is lay the whole thing on a
Dish towel.
dish towel. Thank you, that's what it's called. And then I roll it up. And because you roll it up, the dish towel basically dries all the front and back all at the same time. And when you unroll it, then you can separate the two, roll it up and put it back in the drawer. And you don't have to like fiddle around with it. Okay, so a couple things to talk about. So if you have not tried our vanilla, it is absolutely delicious, and the pumpkin pie is a great place to use it, as well as the Cinnamon Plus. And I'm a huge fan of this. I use it for everything that is like this flavor, like carrot cake, zucchini cake,
Sweet potato cake.
I made a sweet potato cake instead of a carrot cake, and I used the Cinnamon Plus. It has allspice, as well as the Karinji cinnamon. It has nutmeg, allspice, orange peel, cloves, and ginger. All things in one. It is absolutely delicious. Okay.
Hot chocolate. You can put it in that. Just a little.
Just a little. So the orange peel is a little edgy, and it makes it really interesting, and there's not enough that it makes it bitter, but it brightens it. I guess that's the thing. Okay. So then we are going to show you how to serve pumpkin pie. Anna, do you want to bring it over?
Yes.
All right, so we have a pumpkin pie that we pre-baked late this afternoon. It is ready. It is ready to serve, so it's no longer hot to the touch. You can see it looks beautiful to present. Sure, a knife would be great. The other thing I want you to bring over, because we're going to talk about whipped cream, because what is pumpkin pie without whipped cream? Okay, so the stand mixer, okay, I'm just going to tell you a little behind the scenes. Tonight when I was getting ready, I wanted to have the whipped cream already whipped because, you know, when we serve it, we need whipped cream. And so I put it in the stand mixer. I set it to whip. There's a setting because it's automatic. We set it to whip, and I walked away and went and tidied up, and I could hear the mixer speeding up, going faster, then it got crazy fast, and then it turned itself off, and I came back and put it in this insulated bowl, and it is perfect whipped cream. So I love the feature, all the automation on the stand mixer, because then you don't over whip your cream or under whip it. Okay, here we go. We're gonna cut this pie. We're gonna serve a nice big piece. I have 2 forks worth.
I did notice that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did I cut it all the way through? I did. Okay, you guys.
It sounds flaky.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can I put a big dollop on there?
Yeah, please.
Ooh.
Oh, my crust is falling off. Okay, so here's the other thing.
Can I show them?
Yes, please. Here's the
Wow.
other thing. If you haven't discovered our toffee apple crisp syrup, oh my word. So what I did was I didn't sweeten the whipped cream, but instead, here it
Can I
goes.
smell it?
Isn't that amazing? It smells like a dessert all in one.
It smells
So
like
we're
apples.
just gonna pour it all over here just to add a whole other, oops, got a little generous there. A whole other flavor profile I can talk for that. So there's your pumpkin pie.
Wait, let me taste that apple stuff.
Okay, it's gonna be sweet. You don't eat much sugar.
Really good.
Whoa, it's bold. It is really bold, and it tastes like apple pie. Honestly, it tastes like apples and cinnamon.
I'm drooling.
You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. All right, so the last thing we want to show you. Pampered, not perfect. We say that all the time. There's a lot of laughs coming through on the thing, so that's
Sorry
good.
about that.
No, it's good. Real. So if you grab me these trivets, if you haven't seen these, I use them all the time because they're 2 sizes. They're like these silicone trivets. You can wash them really easily because it looks like I just got some pastry on it. 1, 2. They're thin. You can store them any place, and then we can just put this right over here, right on the counter. Hopefully this doesn't look too messy.
You want this plate?
I use this. I do need to let this set for a hot second.
And we need a little bit of gravy to put on.
A little gravy just oozing all over.
And a little
You
bit
see
of
the
cranberry sauce.
cranberry sauce, and skin from the turkey. Mashed potatoes.
These
Garlic
seem
mashed
like small
potatoes.
portions. I would probably have
You should have put
3
more
of them.
in here.
3 of these.
3 of these? Yeah, okay, these are falling apart a little bit.
I think they need a little bit more time, but we don't have time.
No.
But it's gonna
Okay.
be good.
So we'll eat these later, and you'll wish you had them. And hopefully, we've inspired you to to make it yourself. So let me just recap. Some of the top tips I have for this stuffing is fresh herbs. Use your favorite ones. Don't assume that because the herbs are strong that it's going to overpower your stuffing or your dressing. Using the wrong word all the time. It really amps it up because it is a side to turkey, which, you know, is good, but it's not super complicated. And so it's a really nice compliment. And it's just like, think of all of those flavors in your mouth.
Complexity.
Yeah. Use your leftover bread. Use any garlic bread that you have left over. Use your favorite kind of bread. Okay, and then always put butter in there. It kind of fell
And the
apart.
bacon is really good in
The
it.
bacon and the mushrooms really good in there too, I think. Okay, so you all have your favorites. I know this is ours, as you can tell. And then for the pie, homemade. Use the. I think, in my opinion, make sure that you use canned pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, because pumpkin pie filling already has the spices and the sugar and all the stuff in it. Not the same. Look for canned pumpkin, and add the cinnamon plus to your cart if you're shopping these days. And it is so good, and you're going to want a stash of it because we only sell it in the fall season, and you need enough for the whole year, because next summer when you're making zucchini cake, you're going to still want some. And then you add a little dash of vanilla for that extra je ne sais quoi. Okay, over to you, Michael.
All right. That was so fun to watch you two cook together. It's so fun. I can feel the warmth. I can feel the love. It's great. Anna, I loved your joke about the extra salty pies. That was great. And Shelly, I had never thought of that the recipes on our website don't have all the ads. The other thing they don't have is somebody's entire life story before you just get to the
Oh
recipe.
my word, absolutely.
Just cut to the chase, right? And so I'm gonna give you two a break while I cut to the chase for what everybody's looking for, which is a giveaway. So take a quick breather, and then we're gonna bring you back on for Q&A. There are a lot of questions, and so stay tuned for that. So, friends, tonight we are giving away the gourmet toffee apple crisp syrup, which you just saw. And so, yes, it can be used in pie. It's great on a latte. And we're going to give 3 lucky winners this apple crisp here. So let me pull up my screen share here. So our winners tonight, congratulations, friends, to uh, Carmen Cooper, Diane Shoup, and Angela McDermott. You are our lucky winners. You will be getting a gourmet toffee apple crisp syrup in the mail. So look for an email from me after this event, Carmen, Diane, and Angela, and we'll get this in the mail for you. So congratulations on winning this. All right, and a couple other quick announcements before we do our Q&A. Today is the very last day of our all-in-one Meal Makers sale. That means you have just a few hours to get 15% off of tools like the Deluxe Multi-Cooker, our new stainless steel saute pan, and more. So you got till midnight. Get on it. I don't know which time zone, probably Central. Well, whatever it is, you got till the end of the day to take advantage of this sale. So get on that. And if 15% off is not enough for you and you're like, give me more, how about 60% off? When you host a virtual or in-person party in October, you can get 60% off any one item with qualifying party sales. So talk to your consultant to get your party booked, and so you can start shopping with your friends and family and having some fun. And put in the chat, what would you use your 60% off on? Let us know, and then book a party and make it a reality. And lastly, before we bring Shelly back on, I want to tell you about something else we're really excited about, and this is our new Hearthstone kit. This is a new consultant startup kit priced at just $19.80 in both US and Canada. It's the price the same. And this super low startup cost pays homage to the year Pampered Chef was founded. We are celebrating our 45th anniversary in just a couple weeks. And when Doris Christopher held her very first Pampered Chef party, she cooked a frozen pizza on a stone. And that's what we're celebrating. So you can start your own side hustle and run a business on your own schedule to earn income, earn products, and be part of something bigger, making mealtime easier for families and gaining a supportive community for yourself. So take advantage of this opportunity for the rest until the end of October to get the Hearthstone kit for just $19.80. All right. That's enough for me. Let's do some Q&A, friends. So I'm going to pull it up here. First of all, great question here. Can you use the Brilliance pan to saute the vegetables instead of the stainless steel?
Absolutely. That is such a fabulous pan. So it's a great one, a great choice also.
Great. Somebody said if you were going to add meat to the stuffing, I know this is our herb stuffing recipe, so this one does not have meat. If you were going to add meat and use the muffin pan, when would you add sausage or meat into the recipe?
Well, first of all, you're going to pre-cook the meat, I hope, before you put it in. It's I would assume that it's more food safe because when I do the bacon, I make sure it's fully cooked, and then I add it right into the whole stuffing as I did the bacon. I would do if you're putting in any kind of ground sausage or something like that.
Okay, love it. Next question, is the bake time different if you're using the muffin pan versus in the oven?
Uh, Using the muffin pan, yeah. Well, so tonight ours wasn't done as fast as I thought it would be. When I tested it previously, I did it, I think, at 425, so it was hotter and it was done in about 15 minutes. Because it's stoneware, it will take a little longer in a short time, in a recipe that takes a short period of time, because it's got a little bit of lag time because the stoneware, the clay is actually an insulator, so it prevents it from heating up, which prevents it from burning, but it also lets it brown beautifully. So, yeah, so because it's a short time, it's going to take a little bit longer to catch up than if you were doing it in a metal muffin pan.
What about a loaf pan?
If you were doing it in a loaf pan, it's going to take longer in a loaf pan because it's thicker to get through, to cook all the way through.
So much wisdom there. Thank you. And do you usually spray or oil before you use any of the things you just mentioned?
So it depends. So if you're doing it in stoneware that's pre-seasoned, so you saw that, now mine is in the oven, but you probably saw that the surface of mine is quite brown. And so it is seasoned and already non-stick. So there's butter in the recipe, but because there's eggs and other things, I would make sure that it is greased if it is not already well seasoned and feeling really smooth. So if your stoneware does not feel smooth, grease it with butter or oil or whatever. I don't use the sprays. We recommend you don't use the sprays from the store because they have other things that make it tacky and sticky over time. But if it's a non-stick pan, like the Brilliance pan that I showed, then I don't think you would even need to grease that. It is so beautifully non-stick.
Yeah. Okay. Love it. Thank you for all that. Question about the pie. Can you freeze a pie? And if you ever freeze a pie, so if yes, what's the best way to reheat a frozen pie?
You know what? Technically, I know that you can freeze a pie. So you're just going to want to thaw it probably in the fridge so that it thaws gradually. You can freeze the stoneware. So I think the challenge with freezing a pie like this is because it has such a moist surface, it would be hard for it not to crystallize and the water to come out of it, and you'd get crystals on the surface. So I don't think it's ideal. You might have to, cover the surface with parchment or something. It's not ideal.
Can you freeze the dough?
You can freeze the dough, absolutely. And so what you could do in advance, if you want to be, ready, is make your pie filling without the eggs. Have that ready, and have your pastry ready. You can freeze it well in advance and just thaw it before you roll it out, and then bake it. And you can bake it the day before. I think pumpkin pie is better the next day because the flavors have had a chance to really kind of shine through.
And you never put it in the fridge, do you? Like you would leave it on the counter?
I would normally, because it's baked, there's not very much left over.
Yeah. I empathize with the question, and I'm also like, I can't imagine it getting to the point where I have a ton left over. But thank you so much for the collective wisdom for you both. Okay, two more questions. One, can you preheat stoneware? That's the question.
Okay, so depending on the stoneware, so for making a pie, you would never preheat it because you want your crust to stay cold because you need the butter to stay hard until it goes in the oven. Technically, what happens is butter actually is an emulsification of the butter fat and there's actually water and whey in butter. And so you need, when it is cold or room temperature, it stays together emulsified. So it's a mixture of those two things. What you want when it goes in the oven, you want the water that's in the cold butter to actually turn into steam, and that's how it's going to actually lift and make layers of your pastry. That's how you get flaky pastry. It's from the cold butter because it had water stored inside that made steam and made those layers. So for that reason, you never want to preheat your stone when you're making a pie. However, if you're doing stoneware that you're putting stuffing in for any other reason, it's really going to depend on whether or not the bottom of it tells you with the wavy pattern that it's fusion. If it's a fusion pan, you can preheat it if you want to for that reason. If it's not fusion, we recommend that you don't. There you go. There's a fusion pan with that wavy pattern. So if your stoneware has that pattern, you can preheat. Otherwise, don't.
I love it. Amazing. Thank you so much for all that knowledge. That was incredible. Both of you, you can tell like the mutual learning that's happening. Really cool. So last question. You said you became a consultant shortly after Anna was born, correct?
She was 3 months old and she's
26.
26 now.
Okay. So I often ask a question to the consultant here, but I'm gonna do a little twist here. Anna, what is one of the most important things you have observed about your mom being a consultant?
She was always home during the day, so like she could pick me up from school if I wanted. And she was like working in the evenings. But then she also was like constantly getting new product and always experimenting. Like I've never met anybody that experiments more than mom, just because she has all the stuff. And so I've learned like a lot of really random little things from her, just because she's constantly making new things and trying stuff out.
Michael,
So fun.
can I add something that I
Yeah,
observed?
please.
There's two things. So it's probably 15, 20 years ago that we were redoing our kitchen and we were in the middle of all this stuff, and Anna was quite young, I think 6 or I don't know, less than 10 anyways. And so she said to me, Mom, can we have a pool? And I said, it's not in the budget right now because we're doing the kitchen right now, sweetheart. And she said, but Mom, you just have to do more shows.
That's true.
Right? And here's the thing. She knew that her dad could go to work longer hours, but he wouldn't make more money. But if I did, I could make more money. And she knew that as a child. She already understood what it meant to be an entrepreneur. The second thing is when she graduated and she went out for dinner, and her friends, this is from high school, and they all went out for sushi, and she came home and she said, Mom, one of my friends was so stressed out about eating a food that she had never had before. She did not enjoy it at all. And I never realized that learning all these new things, it allowed me to eat at restaurants anywhere and to travel anywhere in the world because I'm not afraid of food and trying new things. And so there you go.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. What incredible testimonials from both of you. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, truly. And yeah, so thank you, Shelly, for all your wisdom. Thank you, Anna, for being such an amazing sous chef tonight. And thank all of you for joining us. I had a ton of fun. I hope you did it as well. And if any of you are interested in becoming a consultant yourself, talk to the consultant that invited you tonight or visit the Be a Consultant page on our website. We're going to sign off here, friends. We hope you'll join us same time next week in October. Yes, tomorrow is October, and we will be joined by Laura, who's going to teach us how to make a fresh and filling baked lasagna packed with flavorful veggies. So register now, friends. It's going to be a ton of fun. Thanks again, everybody, and we hope you have a great night. Bye-bye.